So, Buck, good morning.
Good morning.
Buck, it's obvious as we see so many things in the industry that are evolving and changing. One of the things that we like to do in our weekly chat is to talk about, I think, circumstances and situations in the industry and how this is impacting fintechs. And as we see today, that there is a strong emphasis on social responsibility. And given that, fintechs have an opportunity to get involved in with regards to social responsibility, building products and solutions that have the best interest for social responsibility. What are some of the things that you're seeing?
Yeah, but I'm Wayne. First of all, good morning and thanks for setting this up. You touch a raw nerve, literally. This has become such an important debate now for many, many entrepreneurs. So, social responsibility, I will talk about it from two different angles. One is the social responsibility that the big corporates have. Like they want to spend, 1%, 2% of their profits on, doing social good, promoting education, promoting services for disadvantaged sections of the society, all that work, affirmative action, generally what we call. But they don't know what to do. There are so many things that they need to understand and do about it. So they have got a big department and they have got some pretty big budgets actually to spend on. But entrepreneurs have got a huge opportunity to develop ideas as to how the corporates can spend that and really achieve good result rather than just doing a tick mark against the CSR kind of box. So that's the huge opportunity, especially in fintech. As you can see, we are actually working with right now with two or three of such people who are doing. So what they're doing is, can we use the funds of a large bank that they are earmarked for social responsibility kind of affirmative kind of activity, and be the bridge that will take this money to the people who really need that, the people who do not have access to banking, the people who do not have access to credit. So that's the big opportunity that you have on social responsibility side. And the other side of that, which is actually a very, very confused space for a lot of entrepreneurs, and I would like to take this opportunity today to clarify as much as I can, is about social entrepreneurship.
So, Buck, before we kind of move and shift that gear, I think that what I've been seeing is very similar. That large corporations do have budgets, right? And putting that and putting the budgets together, mapping that with projects and opportunities exist. Entrepreneurs could see that and how they need to pivot perhaps their strategy or how they can get involved in doing, moving their products around that have a social impact. Now, you want to talk about obviously the entrepreneurs and what they're doing. So let's kind of describe what you're seeing.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let us, you made a very important point. So let me just stay on that for 30 seconds. The social responsibility budgets of the big corporations, the first aspect is that they have got a social PR community kind of obligation, that they want to show the community that they are doing good. The second aspect is the regulatory aspect, that in some countries there is a legal requirement that they must spend certain part of their profit on social activities. And these two things are good, but they are, at some stage they come down to a tick mark. But obviously the many people that I speak to, they want to go beyond that and really want to see that whatever they are spending is making a real impact rather than just get tick marks in their book. So that is where innovative solutions have got a lot of space. So having said this, let me move to the social entrepreneurship part. So social entrepreneurship, frankly, Wayne, is one of those, terms that has confused people more than helped. So entrepreneur, I would like to emphasize today that an entrepreneur should be an entrepreneur, he or she. There's nothing like a social entrepreneur or unsocial entrepreneur or anti-social entrepreneur or anything like that. An entrepreneur has to have a business proposition that should deliver value to whatever he or she thinks as his customers. And from that, it must generate a profit or a return. So the way what is happening with many people, they are thinking of their organization as a social entrepreneur or enterprise, more like an NGO rather than like a business. And that obviously doesn't work. Because even for an NGO, at the end of the day, You have to have an organization, you have to have processes, you have to generate profit. Now, your definition of profit may change. For most businesses, profit is simply to be measured in terms of money. There is no other measurement. Whereas in your case, the measurement may be reaching out to 1 million people in Africa, or your goal may be, you know, providing home mortgage for first time buyers from deprived communities. It could be many different things that you may want to do. But at the end of the day, it's a business process, and the business process has to generate a return. So many times, and today, as you know, especially when media is very active in these things, so even very young kids, they get tremendous coverage in media. Suddenly, they become social media heroes. This boy is out to change the world, or this gal is out to change the world. That kind of headlines you get, and your head quickly goes into the clouds. So that's something that we have to be very, very particular about. And we have got two or three very good people that we are working with right now. And I keep saying this every day to them, that you have to run this as a business. Don't get mixed up in your mind about social entrepreneurship is different from entrepreneurship of anything like that. Entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship.
So Buck, you raise a very good point. One of the things that again, we talk to fintechs all the time, and when some fintechs CEOs or founders, when you talk with them about social responsibility, many of them feel that the use case that exists may not drive to profitability, right? Because of for whatever reason or misconception that they may have. Can you just kind of elaborate on maybe some use cases that you've seen or some of the things that you're experiencing in the fintech ecosystem
It is, yeah, absolutely. What you are saying is true, what that person told you, because that's what's happening with most entrepreneurs. But
Mhm.
again, it is not a problem with the business case, Wayne. It is a problem with the mindset of the entrepreneur,
Yes, very
where
true.
he or she thinks that because they are running a social enterprise, they don't need to make profit. That's where the problem starts and ends, actually. You have to make money. Personally, what you want to do with the money that you earn, whether you want it to splurge on a massive yacht for yourself, or you want to spend it in, Harlem and build two more schools for people there. That's your choice. But if you're running a business, then not earning money is not a choice.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Buck, tell me how, with all the things that are happening in the industry, how do you see the future as far as fintech and social responsibilities for CEOs and founders and companies getting more involved with social good? Do you see this
Yeah.
increasing? Do you see the
It is
momentum?
expanding like crazy. Many countries all
Mhm.
around the world now are making CSR as a legal mandate. It is no more a recommendation or a good practice. It's a legal requirement, you know. And opportunity is huge because these people are not going to be able to spend that money on their own. They don't have enough bandwidth. They don't have enough connect in the communities. They don't have enough understanding of where this money goes, how this money goes. But if you are a kid who has spent time in a particular area where you grew up and you know the problems there, children not having education facility, children not having computer access, children failing, falling prey to drug habits and all those things. You know what is the problem and you know what can be done. And if you have got a solid proposition, especially banks, because uh, whether you like it or not, banks are always on the forefront of receiving bad press, right? They are
Yes,
always seen as the demons, and people who want to kind of control the whole world. That is their typical image. True or not, it's a different story. But those are the people who are going to do the most to kind of shore up their image, make sure that they are compliant, make sure the community doesn't feel too badly about them. So they are definitely open purses. They have got formal budgets for that. Most of those budgets are far more than what a startup can imagine utilizing effectively. But identifying opportunities and having on the ground connect is what I will say is the most important. And the fintech having a clear concept, the entrepreneur, that he or she has to make money out of it. What he or she wants to do with his money, that's a different story. But not making money is not an option.
yes, yes. Now, this is very true and very interesting that you provide a perspective. So, Buck, is there anything that you would like to say or to add about social responsibility and FinTech and entrepreneurs that you might not have said
Absolutely.
already? And really to our audience, that many of them are entrepreneurs. Some of them would like to have their own companies and their own FinTechs that they're developing. They may be in a MVP stage, they may be they may be coming up with what a strategy, they may want to pivot. What kind of information would you share based on your knowledge and background in this space with FinTechs and social responsibility?
Great question, Wayne. In fact, I'll ask entrepreneurs to focus on just one single point, Wayne. The big banks, the organizations have got the money to spend, they've got the obligation to spend, and all that. And in every sphere of life, they are having the big picture or the macro view of a particular thing. But the people who are going to consume that benefit, they are at a very, very micro level. And there is no connect between this macro and micro. FinTechs, entrepreneurs can become that connect or that bridge. That's a huge opportunity. Let me take a simple example, right? Let us say today you go to JP Morgan or somebody and say that you want to open a brokerage account. You know what the requirements are: AML, KYC, $10,000 to start with, all that stuff, right? And fair, nothing wrong with that. But imagine in my area, I can identify 100 kids who are just in high school, who have just started working, and they would like to save 15, 20, $25 every week and put it into stock market. Now, who is going to, JP Morgan is not interested, Bank of America is not interested in taking $20 a week and investing in stock market. So this aggregation is, and every single field, whether it is auto loan, mortgage, you think of any financial service, there is an opportunity to be that bridge. And if you organize it properly, if you come up with a good idea, big organizations are going to be very, very supportive of you.
Fascinating. Buck, one of the things about our chat is that we pick the subjects that we think are on the mind in the industry. We provide information, but really this is just to stimulate discussions,
Exactly.
greater discussions that can have in the industry among FinTechs, banks, partners, and so forth. So I really appreciated the fact that we had some time to talk today. I look forward to that.
Let people ask questions. I'm more than happy to answer. We are absolutely delighted to work with anybody from the bank side as well as from the entrepreneur side, because this is something that has to be done.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Buck, and we look forward to it. Absolutely.